Hey guys, Dankelberg here, and today we kind of have a little bit of some sad news. Actually, a big piece of sad news. Just the other day, there was a shooting in Jacksonville, Florida. The place was a tournament being held on Madden NFL football. Now, the reason behind the shooting so far that we know of is because the person lost a game, a pretty big game, and he started shooting. And that's not something you go to a gaming tournament for. Now, I'm gonna talk about what could have been done or what should have been done to protect the lives of the two people who died during that shooting. Okay, because leaving that entire stadium filled with that many people, leaving it unguarded or leaving it no police or anybody there in case things like this happen. Nobody was there at all. And I think that's my main problem with this right here is the shooter killed himself, I do believe, but there were no guards. You have a big event. You have a big event with thousands of people inside of there. You know, probably millions of dollars on the line. And you don't have one officer there. You don't even have maybe a couple of officers, a security detail, anything to help with these people or to at least keep them safe. Nobody had that. There were no metal detectors, and it was a gun-free zone. At all of these things combined together, and you would have thought that at that moment, that should have been the biggest red flag. Would to be if there's no guards in a mass gathering, what happened? What have we learned this year with mass gatherings? Okay. Granted, this was not a mass shooting, but it could have turned into one because we don't have people out there guarding these giant events. These giant events are not guarded, and I can guarantee you if there were some officers on duty guarding that place, this probably would have never happened. Not to the extent that it did. If there were metal detectors, he would have never been able to have a gun. If there were something other than the lack of perception, the lack of thinking this could happen at this area, it could happen. It was not a matter of if it could happen, it was a matter of when it would happen. And it happened. Lo and behold, it happened. It happened. Nobody wanted it to happen. Nobody's happy about it. Everybody's upset, and everybody's grieving for the two people that we lost. And, it all boils down to what are we going to do as a community? What are we going to say at these tournaments now? What are we going to push? In my opinion, I'm going to push for much higher guard control. Guards everywhere. There has to be guards at the entrance, just like in baseball games or in football games. You have metal detectors, you have guards watching and searching people to make sure that nobody does this type of thing. And you know what? You don't hear of these things at places like that, to where people are searched before they enter, where people are ran through x-rays, or through metal detectors. You don't hear of that in places like this. But in places that are not guarded, like this tournament was, it is just open season for a person who is mentally ill, who wants nothing but the death of somebody to walk in there and start shooting. That's all it takes. is the lack of foresight. And it cost 2 people their lives that day. 2 people. I'm not even going to call the third one a person, because you ended 2 lives on that day. And then you ended your own. That's just a new low. I thought that the suicide by McSkillet was low, but this is a new low for the gaming community. To have to pick themselves back up from this is going to be hard. We're going to face another trial of whether or not games are going to be outlawed because of this. And that's not the point. I'm not trying to make this the point, you know? But in the future, we will have to deal with this, because people like that come in and kill innocent people who were just there to play a Madden game. Tournament. That was it. That was all they were there to do. And they did not know that that was going to be their last game that they would ever play, the last thing that they would ever see. So, my heart and my condolences go out to the families who were affected by the Jacksonville shooting. And I ask the community, the gaming community, by all means, if there is some sort of petition or rally or some sort of donation that you can find for this event, do your part and go donate. Go help the community who had just lost 2 people because of somebody's recklessness. All because of that. So I urge you to go out and find somebody, make this make this aware. People need to be aware that events like this, gaming events like this, cannot go unguarded anymore. We need to make sure that these 2 guys did not die for us to just continuously be ignorant towards new tournaments. I didn't want to make a depressing video like this, but the Jacksonville shooting needed to be talked about. I kind of needed to get that out. So, yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, make sure you go and you find some way to support the way that we support ways that we can go about protecting our community, protecting them in the way that they will just want to go and have fun. Protect them. Find some way to do that. If we all band together as a gaming community, we can get a lot of stuff done. We've seen it before, and it will happen again. So, guys, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.